He's an outdoors enthusiast who found his true calling in the forestry business. He's led the transformation of his company into an industry leader and has spearheaded its successful entry into Russia and other emerging international markets. He's John Faraci, Chairman and Chief Executive Officer of International Paper and the architect of the company's historic joint venture in Russia.
I've been really lucky. Over the last 12 years, I've gotten to know Russia in a way that I never would have had the opportunity to know Russia had it not been for International Paper.
John Faraci's creative, visionary management style reflects his passion for adventure, the outdoors, and our environment. His intellectual curiosity about ecology shone through in an early stop in his career when he left his lawn around his house go untouched for 2 years just to see what kind of ecosystem would develop. And it soon was covered with natural grasses, wildflowers, and a small softwood forest. His adventurous outdoorsman side led to a camping trip in the Alaskan wilderness when he and some friends were stranded for a week and were forced to live off the land and fend off Kodiak bears with bonfires. And that resourcefulness has served him well throughout his career in business.
And among the very best American business leaders I've ever worked with is John Faraci. Because during my experience as the U.S. ambassador in Russia from 2005 to 2008, I grew to greatly admire the vision and leadership that John demonstrated in pursuing important business opportunities for International Paper, but also in understanding the value of making contributions to the development of a more open investment climate in Russia, to demonstrating to Russians that this really is a win-win proposition. It can benefit American business, but it also helps open up even greater opportunities for the Russian economy over time.
When John Faraci became CEO of International Paper in 2003, he saw an immediate need to sell off assets and streamline the company's operations to focus on its core strengths in paper and packaging. This bold decision allowed International Paper to become an industry leader in these core areas. It also freed up the capital for the company to undertake an aggressive global expansion that paved the way for it to truly live up to its name as an international company. A major step in this drive was Faraci's recognition of the tremendous opportunities in Russia and the other developing international markets. In 2007, International Paper entered into a joint venture with the Ilim Group in Russia that represented a historic investment in Russia's pulp and paper industry. At the time, the new joint venture, Ilim Holding, represented the largest Russian joint venture outside of the oil and gas sector.
In my opinion, he is one of the first guys in International Paper who really create international company, because today it's not just the name International Paper, but it's a really international company. In other words, it's create a global company. That's why. Plus, the huge, strong step in Russia. It's really big steps because first they buy the Svetogorsk, they try to create their own mills, for themselves, and then we do a joint venture. That's why.
American businesses have hesitated for a good reason to become so heavily involved in Russian commerce. It's a difficult legal situation, trade situation. The marketing of where the product is to go, very complex. So I admire very much John's analysis, his travels, his willingness really to study this problem astutely.
In the years since International Paper's entry into Russia, its joint venture there has grown steadily through sales to the Russian market, exports to China and other developing countries, and expansion through acquisitions and new plants. The International Paper Ilim joint venture represents more than profits and losses, however. Under John Faraci's leadership, the company's success in the Russian market has widespread positive impact on the country by creating jobs, modernizing operations in the industry, creating a more business-friendly climate, and building economic bridges. It's also a leading example of how improving commercial ties can strengthen the relationship between the United States and Russia, and John Faraci's vision was the catalyst for the deal that made it possible.
Clearly, John's leadership role in the process and his patience, and I think his willingness to find rational compromises helped to complete this deal.
The main reason for the deal to happen that John had a very clear vision why this JV makes sense for everyone. He had a very clear vision and message to the Russian side what international paper plans to do in Russia with this joint venture, what international paper plans to bring to Russia to Russian partners. That was a very clear message which was consistent through the whole deal. John put together a really strong team. In my experience, it was probably the best client team I worked with. You look at M&A side, corporate side, finance side, industrial side, accounting side, every side of the team, you had the best experts in the field.
John Faraci also pursues his interests, values, and ideas through other organizations in addition to his leadership of international paper. He chairs the U.S.-Brazil CEO Forum and serves on the boards of the American Forest and Paper Association and the National Fish and Wildlife Foundation, in addition to previous service on the board of the Grand Teton National Park Foundation. And in the Wilsonian ideal of engaging the world of ideas, Faraci is a trustee of Denison University and the American Enterprise Institute and is on the advisory board of the Moscow School of Management. Tonight, we celebrate the idea of the corporate citizen, the leader who does good in addition to doing well. It is also the goal of the Catherine and Shelby Cullum Davis Dinner to celebrate those who bring together Russia and America through commerce and service. It is with these principles in mind that we honor John Faraci's achievements and leadership in the corporate arena, as well as outside it, and as the man who helped restore the importance of the international to international paper through his visionary expansion into Russia, with the 2012 Woodrow Wilson Award for Corporate Citizenship.
Well, John, you deserve this award because you have been a pioneer in many ways, but especially in the relationship of the United States and Russia, through International Paper Company and through your own personal diplomacy. You have been a student of the situation, that is of our international relations, well understand problems of American security, but also the potential for American prosperity and the potential for investment and trade, even in circumstances that are very difficult. I salute you and I admire you very much.
I'd like to congratulate John with this huge honor, and I think that for the side of Russia, he made really good work. And I also like all his family, mostly his wife.
Well, John, I'm honored to have the chance to participate in this event. I've always greatly admired and respected your business leadership, your sense of vision, your partnership, because in all my 30 years of experience as a diplomat, the partnership that we built up as a diplomat and as a business leader in promoting the interests of our country and creating jobs and investment opportunities overseas has really been something that I treasure. So thanks for the example that you've set, and thanks very much for your friendship. I wish you all the very best.